You want to become a professional pilot, but your English level is not quite there yet. And you would like to reach a level 5 because, to be honest, on the market, most airline companies want a level 5. Well, this video might help you to go from a level 4 to a level 5 with different steps that are quite easy. Let's start with the real gap that exists between a 4 and a 5. A lot of people think that getting from a level 4 to a level 5 is not so hard, like you go from one level to another. But actually, in reality, a level 4 and a level 5, there's quite a big gap in between those two levels, and it's not so easy to go from a 4 to a 5. There's one thing that is very important to consider, is that when you want to reach a level 5, you need to make sure that you get a minimum level 5 on each skills. So there's a whole video about what are the different skills that we actually assess at the FCL, so feel free to watch this video if you don't know what I'm talking about. But basically, you need to have a level 5 minimum on each skill, and if you get one skill on a level 4, you get a 4, as we always take the lowest score. Now, how to know where you need to improve? First, if you've done already an FCL test and you like your certificate, well, it depends on the center, but most of the time you get a detail or you get a feedback from the examiners at the end, and they will explain to you what are the skills where you get a 5, which one you get a 4. You might get a 4 everywhere. Then if it's the case, then you have all the skills to work on. But it's very important to focus on the skills which are on a level 4 and kind of put aside the ones that are on 5, so that you are more efficient and you just focus on the skills that the examiners considered as a level 4. Now, if you intend to do an FCL test and you haven't done it before, then just kind of analyze a little bit what is your level. So look at the 6 skills, then analyze which one you think you're less comfortable than the others, and kind of focus on those. Even if you haven't done an FCL before, you probably know already if you're more comfortable with structure, grammar or vocabulary or stuff like that. And depending on where you are in your training as a future professional pilot, that might also help. I'm thinking about, for example, if you're before your ATPL, then there are little chances that you know a lot of technical vocabulary. But if you're after, then you can focus more on grammar or pronunciation, because you will probably have a bit more vocabulary. There are 2 skills which are usually under 5, in particular for French speakers, because I work a lot with French speakers. Then you will see that a lot on structure and pronunciation. The reason is that pronunciation is a very difficult skill to acquire, and it's actually very difficult to practice. And structure, simply because a lot of people just don't like grammar and don't really pay attention on what we expect on the FCL. If you tend to speak English every day with native speakers, ask yourself, is your grammar actually correct? It's not because everyone can understand you that your structure actually fits in the requirements of the ICAO levels. You might be extremely fluent, like be a level 6 in fluency. You might feel very comfortable speaking English, but make a lot of mistakes on the structure. Then you will never reach a 5 or 6, even if you speak English every day. Now, for each skill, you can have differences. If we consider the pronunciation, for example, the difference between a 4 and a 5 will be how much your native language affects the understanding. So how much it influences the way that you speak. So the less we hear your native language, the higher you'll be in the score. The structure, which is also the one that is a problem, usually a problem, then is for structure, you need to mainly control the simple structures on a level 4. And on a level 5, we want you to still control pretty well, like practically with no mistakes on simple structures, and use more and more, actually intend or try to use complex structures. This is where we really see the difference. So if you have tendency to use very simple structures, that's actually super useful on the radio, but on the FCL, we'll just consider that you don't know other structures. So what is super important is to really consider the fact that there is reality, what you do in your daily routine in a cockpit, where we want you to be super simple, super efficient, and what we expect at the FCL in order to get to a 5 or 6, where you will have only a limited time, like probably between 20 to 45 minutes, where you have to show what you know in English. And that's a big difference, is that we want to see how complex, how advanced is your English, and not only what you should use in the cockpit. So what to do next? If you're still stuck at a 4, the most important is to identify what are your weaknesses and which skills would probably be on a level 4 and which one you need to improve to get to a 5, and kind of put aside the ones that you consider will probably be on a 5. To do that, you need to have a look at the ICAO skills requirements to make sure that you know what you're doing and you know what to analyze. You can also get a personal training, or you can contact an exam center so that I can provide you with more information, and then you can focus more on what is necessary. Pay attention. If you are not advanced level, just doing a training to prepare for an FCL is not enough. You need to improve your language. So a lot of centers offer lessons, but there are lessons to prepare for the exam. They're not lessons for language improvement. This is very important to keep that in mind. That's pretty much all I can say about how to get from a 4 to a 5. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to add them just under this video, and I will see you in the next video.